I want, my dear children, from this video I am going to teach you perimeter and area, both lessons. And from these two lessons you will have 10 marks for your O-level exam. Okay, let us start. First of all, we are going to discuss about square. Square has 4 sides, and in here I have written that one side as A. To find out the area, you need to remember this formula, that is length into breadth. To find out perimeter, we have to add all the sides. So when you are adding, it is better if you can draw a line on one side when you are adding. For another side, then draw it again, another A, another A, and another A, then you will have 4A. Likewise, it is better if you can draw on the line when you find perimeter for any given figure. Rectangle. For rectangle also the area is equal, that means area is length into breadth. In here also I have taken length as L, so it is better if you can draw a line on that line on the length, then there is another length and 2 breadth, so it will be 2L plus 2B. For the triangle, there are various kind of triangles you were taught in smaller grades. Here I have marked H as the perpendicular height. So where it draws the perpendicular mark, it will be the base. Try to identify that thing. Where it draws the perpendicular height and that symbol, it will be the base. So here area equals half into perpendicular height into base. So you have to remember that formula. To find out the perimeter, as I told you before, it is better if you can draw a line on the side that you are calculating, then A plus B plus C. Then thereafter parallelogram. To find out area, perpendicular height into base, you have to remember that formula. To find out perimeter, it is somewhat equal to the rectangle. So here also where it draws the perpendicular height and draw that symbol, the perpendicular mark, it will be the base. Here also you have to draw a line when you find out perimeter. Then for the rhombus, area is same, perpendicular height into base. For the perimeter, here you have to add all the sides. So if they draw a perpendicular height like this to this side, then where it draws the perpendicular mark, it will be the base. So when you add perimeter, it is better. So it's better if you can remember to draw lines when you add perimeter. So the next one is trapezium. Trapezium, there are two types of trapezium like this. To find out the area, you have to remember this formula, half into sum of the parallel sides, it should be written in brackets, into perpendicular height. So as I told you before, where you draw the perpendicular height and its symbol, that means perpendicular mark, it will be the base. Then when you add perimeter, try to draw on the lines. Then circle. For a circle, if the radius is r, the circumference is 2 pi r. Circumference is somewhat equal to perimeter, but two different names. only for the circle we use the name circumference. Area equals pi r squared. You just have to remember those two. So when you find the circumference, you will receive a line like this. Then semicircle, that is a half of the circle. To find out the perimeter, you can take 2 pi r as the circumference formula, and this is a half circle, so you can multiply it with the half into 2 pi r. For area also you have to multiply with half into pi r squared. Then when you find the perimeter, sometimes when you get the formula half into 2 pi r, you can simplify those two and you can have an answer like pi r. So you will have only the answer arc, that means the length of the arc only. So if you need, so then you can add another 2 radii like r plus r. Then sector, imagine the angle is theta for this sector. So to find the perimeter, we can write this angle as a fraction of the total figure. Total figure means the angle of the total circle is 360. So we can write it as theta over 360. So we can multiply 2 pi r by that fraction. Then you can receive the length of the arc, that is theta into 360, theta over 360 into 2 pi r. For the area also you can do the same method. That means you can multiply pi r squared by the fraction of theta over 360. So as I told you before, so when you find out that theta over 360 into 2 pi r, you will have the arc length only. So if you need only, you can add 2r like this. So please be aware with that thing. Don't just follow the formulas, try to understand these formulas. Sometimes you may need only the arc length, then you do not need that plus 2r for the formula. You just need only theta over 360 into 2 pi r. So if you need, so you can add 2r. Okay, let us move on to a question. I won't read this question for you because it will take a lot of time. You can pause the video and read it by yourself. I will move on to the answers, but before you move on to the answers, it is better if you can pause this video, stop this video and write all the answers for this question. Then thereafter you can check your answers. Okay, for the first one, they have asked to find the total area of the home garden. As for the question, the home garden is like a rectangle, so you can follow the steps. Identify the figure, put the correct formula, substitute correct values. If you follow those 3 steps, you can write the answers very easily. So for the first one, identify the figure. The figure is like a rectangle, so put the correct formula, that is area equals length into breadth. Then put the correct values, 20 into 14, as the length is 20 and the breadth is 14. Then when you multiply, it will be 280 square meters. For the second question, they have asked you to find area reserved for the 2 flower beds. So if you follow the steps which I taught to you now, identify the figure. Those figures are 2 semicircles. 2 semicircles mean 1 circle. So I can write it as area equals pi r squared. Pi means 22 over 7. R means, because the diameter is 14, R is 7. So 7 into 7 Then when you simplify, you can cancel 7 to 7 and you can have an answer as 154 square meters. For the third question, they have asked you to draw a pond which should be in the middle of the garden and 1 meter apart from, and it should be 1 meter apart from each flower bed. So I will draw the figure like this. First of all, the rectangle and that figure that they have given. 20 meter is the length and 14 meter is the breadth. So 1 meter apart from each flower bed, I would draw a square. Now we have to find out the correct measurements. So if you can draw the radius into this side, it will be 7 meters, and from that side also 7 meters. Then the total length is, from one side it will be 8 meters. So now you can add 8 plus 8 is 16. Then you can deduct 16 from 20 meters. So answer is 4 meters. For the fourth question, they have asked you to find out the area of the surface of the pond. So identify the figure that is a square, put the correct formula, length into breadth. Then you can have the answers very easily. Put the correct values, 4 into 4, it will be 16 square meters. For the last question, they have asked you to find out the extent which has been used greater from this land. So when you had 154, that is, those are two flower beds, and 16 that with the pond, it will be 170 square meters land reserved for growing grass. We can subtract from the total 280 minus 170, it will be 110. So now you can understand that the maximum extent of land is reserved for flower beds. Okay, let us move on to the next question. If you were able to write all the answers, that means you were able to write 2008 O-level first part B question. This is a O-level question. Okay, let us move on to the next question. A logo is made by removing semicircular shapes from a rectangular sheet of length 20 cm and breadth 14 cm as shown in the figure. The shaded part represents the logo. Here I have drawn the logo. 20 cm length, 14 cm breadth. Now the shaded part is the logo. For this question, they have asked you to find the perimeter of the logo. To find the perimeter of the logo, you should have a correct idea that first of all you need the arc length of the large semicircle. So we can write that half into 2 pi r. So when you cancel half to that 2, then you will receive an answer as pi r. So I have written pi r straightly in here. Pi means 22 over 7. Then when you simplify, you will have the answer as 22 centimeters. That is the arc length of this side, which I have written on that line in the red color. Then there are two another semicircle. When we combine those two semicircles, it will be a circle. So we can write that circumference of the small circle, that is equal to 2 pi r. Identify the figure, put the correct formula, substitute correct values, follow the steps, you will receive the answers very easily. Then put the correct formula is 2 pi r. Put the correct values mean 2 into 22 over 7 into 7, or 7 divided by 2, because the radius in here is 7 divided by 2. If you are able to understand the radius is 7 over 2, then you can receive the answer very easily. Then when you simplify, you will receive the answer as 22 centimeters. So don't forget to draw on the line which you have gained the answer. It will not lead you to any mistakes. Then we can write perimeter of the logo as 22 plus 22, but that is not enough. To find out the perimeter of the logo, we need another two 20s. So we can draw a line on that line, then add 20, another line, another 20, and we can draw a line. Now our figure is completed. So don't forget to draw on the line. If you have gained an answer, then draw on the line. It will make you to understand the question, and it will not lead you to any mistakes. So the answer is 84 centimeters. Don't write square centimeters. So if you are able to do this question by pausing the video, then that means you are able to do 2005 second part question. So I hope from these two lessons you will have 10 marks, and somehow more than 10 marks. So this is a very easy lesson. The thing is, you have to remember the formulas, and when you find the perimeters, don't forget to draw on the lines. So okay children, we'll meet you in another interesting lesson like this. Ayubowan.